$10 bet, it's $69.69.
Oh, you take over? I'll take over.
We'll act like we're gonna win money.
No chance.
Not at all.
Not a shot.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Say It With Your Chest podcast. I'm here with my co-host.
Oh, I thought you.
Kevin.
I thought you were gonna introduce me. My bad.
Fuck
I'm
yeah.
Kevin. Hi.
Yeah, you know Kevin.
I've been here a few times.
Today's show is going to be a good one. I'm actually really excited for this one. Gonna hit you with a little bit of news as we go on the last 2 days, and then we're gonna get into our top 10 receiver rankings for fantasy. I've actually been really excited about this. I think
one's interesting because
my list. I'm actually really excited to get this out here. All right.
Yeah, I feel like our list is gonna be very different than because I feel like running backs and quarterbacks we kind of had similar
Yeah.
like ideas.
I feel like this one could go
Yeah.
pretty all over the
Because
place.
wide receiver, we were just talking about this off camera. The wide receiver position is so broad in the NFL right now that like there's way more than 10 quarter.
Yep.
10
Get it.
wide receivers
Mhm.
that could be on the top 10. So
There's a lot of options.
yeah, I'm excited to see who you
I
put
think
on.
that we'll have similar names towards the top,
Mhm.
but I feel like after like the top 5, it's gonna spiral out.
Well,
of
yeah, there's
control.
obviously that, the
Yeah.
elite 5, but then 6 through 10, that's fair game for pretty
So we'll see how
pretty
that
much like a
goes.
good,
But
10 receivers right there.
before we get into the video, I just want to thank everybody for watching the last 2 videos that we've been putting out. Been hearing very positive feedback. I'm glad it's helping all the newcomers to fantasy. Glad you all enjoyed the quarterback talk and the running back talk.
To Dylan, I saw your comment on that running back video. I stand by my list.
Me too.
I stand by my list.
Kyron Williams will finish 2.
Kyron Williams would not finish top 10.
That's crazy.
I stand by my list.
Wild.
Stand by my list.
Thomas thinks it's going to, that you're right. I just,
See, because me and Thomas were
absolutely
on the same wavelength
insane.
right there.
Thomas is going to pick Bijan with the number 1 pick
Well,
and fucking lose the league.
no, he's going to pick like,
I'm gonna let
who's
it
a running back? He's going to pick like Sony Michel, who hasn't played in 4
Oh my
years.
god, please pick.
No, I'm gonna put it on
dude,
auto pick. And
Devin
I'm gonna put it on
Singletary,
everyone.
baby.
Dude, I'm telling you, he's going to be good. Best player to ever wear number 26 in New York.
So
I couldn't even name you the
Why?
last guy to even wear 26. Just saying. Just saying.
Brees Hall?
I don't know. What Tiki wear? 21?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Who wears 26 on the Jets?
Talk about the Giants songs.
What? New York, you think?
Jets right now? I don't know. I know Le'Veon did.
I don't think I know right now.
Well, yeah.
I have no idea.
Find the better.
Anyway, let's get into some news here. All right, we'll break it down with this. That broke. Did it break last night or this morning? I don't remember.
Which one? I think that was today.
I think it was all this morning.
Falcons signed cornerback AJ Terrell to a 4-year, $81 million deal.
Well deserved, in my opinion.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He is now the second highest paid cornerback because, Jair Alexander just made so much money off that deal that they made. Jalen Johnson signed the $96 million deal. It's still the second to, or maybe it was less than because AJ is now the second. I don't know. It was a stupid amount of money. But I think this is great for the Falcons, as much as I hate the Falcons and don't want to talk about them. They have been bringing in some great defensive pieces. They have Justin Simmons, safety, that they took from the Broncos. Now they signed AJ Terrell. What?
I don't know how Simmons is going to do this year. I'm not,
I think he'll do fine. They're both, they've drafted the offense, and then they've been bolstering up that defense through free agency.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't have too much faith in Simmons. I mean, I know he can be good. I remember him on the Broncos.
He still is good.
I don't know.
When was the last time you watched a Broncos game?
Last year. They're my second favorite team. I watch them pretty often.
So you would know that Justin Simmons is a pretty good player.
No, I know he's pretty good.
Yeah.
I feel like he kind of took a little step back. Tiny step back.
And they signed, last year was Jesse Bates' first year on the Falcons,
that's right.
the Bengals.
That's right.
And they traded for Matthew Judon.
Yep.
So they really are bolstering that defense, making it,
I mean, they have
pretty
the
good.
weapons. They just have to put it all together, and hopefully it works.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if you look at all their players on both offense and defense, that's a playoff team right there. I'm like, an easy playoff team.
I mean, another piece, again, this just speaks now, like, on paper, the Falcons should win the South.
Yeah.
Realistically, it's theirs to lose.
But I mean, that's not really.
As much as people want the
A tough
Bucks to
conference.
still, no, it's absolutely not.
I mean, like honestly, yeah, they have the Bucks, but like
No, it's not. Yeah, it's just
besides them, there's nobody.
depends on what happens with the Bucks. All right, we're back. All right. Anyway, the Falcons I think are gonna do great. Congratulations, AJ Terrell.
Talk to you.
That's big, really big. Another thing that I want to get into is another big thing that just dropped a couple hours ago is the Eagles traded for Jahan Dotson from the Washington Commanders. Now, this is big, in my opinion. I know that a lot of people have not been feeling Dotson, but was he a rookie last year? He was a rookie last year, right?
Dotson? No.
Second year?
This is like his second or third year, yeah.
This will be his third year then?
This is probably like
Or his second year?
Oh, let's look it up.
Now I feel dumb.
Cause I feel
This
like
might be no. Well,
I played with him. He got drafted in 22.
so this will be his third year.
Yeah. Cause I was gonna say I feel like I remember playing with him in Madden a few years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So only 2 years on the Commanders. Very short stint. Third year now going into a very high-powered offense, which is now crazy because now Jalen Hurts now has 3 weapons in A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Jahan Dotson, along with Saquon Barkley. All right, back in. Anyway, Dotson, Eagles, high-powered offense. Jalen Hurts gets a wide receiver 3. What do you think about it?
I mean, like Dotson, Dotson's not the greatest receiver ever, but he's a solid number 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a good trade for the Eagles. I don't think they're going to be disappointed in that. I think they're going to get their what did they trade from a pick, right? 2 picks.
Yeah, Washington Commanders trade Jahan Dotson and a 2025 fifth-round pick to the Eagles in exchange for a third-round pick and 2 7s.
Yeah, honestly, that's not.
I don't think they gave up that much.
Yeah, no,
I think
they got a good deal.
I think it's a steal. As much as people were down on Jahan Dotson, everyone's down on the Commanders as a whole.
Yeah.
From the top of the organization down,
So
it's
you put
all
him in-
bad.
You put him in a good organization with a good scheme,
Right.
a good system going,
Yeah.
all the weapons in the world, a top 5 QB.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to do just fine.
Like, granted, he wasn't playing that great last year, but then again, like, the circumstances were bad.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like no quarterback play. We got a bad old line.
Still there.
I know exactly.
He hasn't requested a trade.
And I
or
thought
something.
with them drafting Jaden Daniels, then Jahan Dotson will take another step up in this offense. Well, I guess not. He's going to an even better offense
Yeah.
with an even better quarterback.
Mhm.
So, congratulations to Jahan Dotson. Now, I don't know what that necessarily says. I mean, that's definitely now upgrading Jalen Hurts as a fantasy quarterback. But would you say this maybe drops AJ or Devonta Smith at all?
AJ, no, because I feel like AJ is so established as that guy in Philly that, unless you get a Tyreek Hill, you're not gonna drop him that much. But Devonta Smith, I definitely think he's gonna get less targets.
I would say it would affect them, but then again, it is so late. I mean, we're less than 2 weeks out now from the season.
A whole new playbook.
We're 2 weeks out from the season today, so I think that listen, you now have a reliable, good talent wide receiver 3, you know? So now I think he'll come in as he learns the playbook, you know. He's not going to be impactful for the first half of the year.
But with these NFL guys, they get traded to a team on Tuesday and then by Thursday they know half the playbook, you know? Baker did it, what was it, 2 seasons ago now?
Yeah.
He landed in LA on Wednesday, played on Sunday and won them a game.
I don't think he's necessarily going to eat so much from the target share of those two. Maybe later in the season, you know, he might develop, but I don't think for the start of the year.
I can get behind that. It might take him some time.
Yeah, but I'm excited about it because I'm excited for the Eagles this year. Seriously,
I am not. I don't want to play them, and we have to play them twice.
In other news, Bo Nix, QB1 for the Broncos.
First starting.
Tell me
rookie
about
QB
that, Mr.
since-
Half Broncos fan.
I wouldn't say
Part-time Broncos fan? Is that better
half.
title?
Quarter.
Quarter-time Broncos fan? Okay.
Um,
How we feeling? Old man Bo Nix.
So, I mean, I'm not upset. You know, I've seen what he's been doing at practice and in the preseason. I'm pretty excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone thought Stidham was going to be the starting quarterback. But I mean, he beat out the vet. He's the first starting rookie QB since John Elway back in what was it, the 80s. He got drafted.
It feels like the 50s.
Cause I mean, he retired in '98.
Feels so long.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm excited for the young kid. It's just everything around him is not that good. The system's not that good.
Team is not great.
You know, we got Cortland Sutton, who's
Okay.
he's like a hit or miss. You know, if he
We were
stays
that
healthy,
touchdown machine.
yeah, if he stays healthy, he'll be good. Sean Payton is clearly not the coach he was in New Orleans. To be honest with you, there's nobody else on that offense.
No, they traded. I mean,
Yeah,
they traded Jerry Jeudy.
Judy's gone.
I mean, Javonte Williams is now going to be a full year removed from the ACL injury, so I think you'll actually get a full him back.
yeah.
You got Marvin Mims, who showed, bits and pieces. Tim Patrick, I don't know if you've heard that name in a while. 2 years of an ACL tear, and, he just caught his first pass in the preseason for the first time in over 2 years. I remember 2 years ago when Russ got traded, Tim Patrick was supposed to be a big name. He was rising in fantasy, and then poor guy got hurt. Finally back. But I think Bo Nix coming in already 27, 28 years of age. Felt like he was in college for a decade.
Bro, he entered college like 2 years before me and left the same year I did. Well, left like a year after me.
Yeah.
Like, crazy.
Yeah, and he looks... I mean, listen, from when he played at Auburn and now at Oregon, I mean, you could definitely see the change. He looked NFL ready when he was playing at Oregon.
Yeah.
Got beefier, got bigger.
I know.
Bulked up. And now he's already older. I just think his wisdom will carry on into the pros.
Wisdom. You see, but like I said, how he has just a bad team around him. Even on the defensive side, you got Patrick Surtain, and then not much after that.
Yeah, but it makes sense. It makes sense to let him play.
No,
you don't want to let Zach Wilson take over.
No.
That
but I mean,
trash offense. That poor guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me double check here.
Yeah, talk to me. Tell me all about it.
If I'm right, I'll go into it.
All right, I'm ready.
Oh, I am not right. Never mind.
Okay, he's not right. What are you talking about?
I thought they had Zach Wilson as the backup quarterback because I saw a list where he was, but I just looked up the official depth chart and
he's third.
He's the third. Yeah.
Oh God.
It's Jarrett Stidham is the second, that's how it should be because Zach Wilson is trash. But I saw a list earlier today that he was the backup quarterback, and I had to double check.
Right.
So this is on ESPN depth charts, so I feel like they're a reliable source.
Okay.
When it comes to this.
Well, I think Broncos aren't going to be that great this year.
No.
They should just tank, get a high draft pick next year, start rebuilding. Clearly, I mean they've been rebuilding for like a decade now.
We've been rebuilding since 2015.
So a decade.
I don't even want to say we, because I'm not even like that big of a fan.
They have been.
I like their uniforms, and I like the Demarius Thomas.
They have been.
Yeah. Since
rebuilding for a decade.
Yeah. They really took a hit after Peyton retired, and then Sanders and Thomas left.
But so are the Panthers. We've been rebuilding for a decade, it feels like. Maybe a little less.
That was the first time. That Super Bowl 50, the following season was the first time neither team that played in Super Bowl made the playoffs.
Yeah, we sucked.
Which is crazy.
You know what's so crazy? That I look back on that season. I look back on that season's opener when the Broncos and Panthers started off the season and played each other. That game was incredible.
Yeah.
I remember watching that game because we had just started high school at that time.
Yeah.
And it was the opening game to the 2016 season. That game was fucking electric, dude. Jonathan Stewart, Cam Newton, Greg Olsen, like everybody was still returning.
Who was the quarterback that year for the Broncos? Was that Brock Osweiler? Was
Yes.
that Trevor Siemian?
No, it was Osweiler. It was Osweiler.
He was there for a year.
Siemian, I think, was the following year.
Yeah. Yeah, because Brock
or Paxton Lynch. Paxton Lynch was the following year.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this was Osweiler.
Because I know he went to the Texans not too long after the 2015
No,
season.
maybe it wasn't Osweiler. Because Watson was the following year. He got drafted the following year and played his rookie year.
Who?
Deshaun Watson.
Oh,
Who?
yeah. Yeah, because Brock went to the Texans.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't Osweiler. I don't remember who the quarterback was. Now I'm blanking on his name.
It was.
Look up like 2016 depth chart, I guess.
It's Trevor Siemian. He
Was
played
Siemian?
14 games, and then Paxton Lynch played 2
In
in 2016.
So it was Trevor Siemian.
Yeah, Brock
Okay, then.
Osweiler went to the Texans right after that. Because that's when he played a few games in 2015.
He was the
season.
Texans quarterback that year.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
Peyton.
that makes sense.
I remember Peyton sat out for like a game or two for something. I want to say it was like a toe injury.
During the Super Bowl year?
Yeah, he had like I think he had toe surgery that like was like a week recovery time, so
Right.
he missed like a game or two.
Okay.
And then so Brock Osweiler came in and he played really well. And then the Texans, I believe, gave him like a crazy contract. And,
They did.
And he was terrible, and he like robbed them of like over $100 million.
That's it. He played 1 year and was done.
Yeah.
And then they drafted Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, because then Brock Osweiler went back to the Broncos for a
Right.
season.
That makes sense. But yeah, I think, is there any other news you want to talk about?
Nah, I mean, I kind of hit.
Panthers traded for,
Yeah, but that's
Michael
nobody
Jackson?
cares about that.
I care.
No, do you though?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was something that happened today. Trade happened. You know, we got another cornerback on the team.
You want to know
I'm
last
happy
time
about it.
I remember the
Dude, we
Giants traded
revived
someone?
Michael Jackson from the dead. He's on the team now.
You want to know last time I remember the Giants trading for someone?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Darren Waller.
Oh my God.
And you know what he did for us? 1 touchdown.
Dude, he literally,
And retired.
he's a depressed rapper now.
I mean, yeah, bro.
Pretty much.
Dude's NFL career went to shit. He got divorced from his wife. And
I can't believe that.
yeah,
She's balling out.
Yeah.
On the Aces.
bro. She's
Alright.
got like the most swag in like the WNBA. She pops up on my feed all the time. It's just like
She's a little cringy though.
at times, but I don't know. She's kind of
She's a
like
little bit.
swag.
I can get behind it, I guess.
I fucked with her.
I guess that's enough news. Nothing really that interesting after what we just discussed. So, without further ado, let's get into the top 10 fantasy wide receivers.
All right.
All right, we're in it. All right, top 10.
I guess I'll start first.
You want to start it off here?
Yeah. So number 10, I have
I'm
Brandon
excited.
Ayuk.
Oh!
Brandon Ayuk.
Brandon
Put him on the
Ayuk.
screen. There
This
he
guy.
is. Look at that man.
I'm going to put him
Beautiful.
on the screen. I'm going to do it for you.
So I was a little hesitant
Look
on
at that guy.
on Brandon.
Ayuk, huh?
Yeah. I was a little hesitant on him. I wasn't sure if I should put him in the honorable mentions or put him in the top 10. I decided to go with number 10 because as long as he finds a team for this upcoming season, I think he'll be in that top 10 range. I just didn't want to put him too high and then have him not find a team and then have him sit out.
Right. I don't mean to interrupt, but can we just roast our producer right now real quick? How we're not capitalizing last names,
that's sloppy.
especially.
That's just sloppy.
What are we doing?
That's just sloppy right there. I don't like that.
That is just awful.
Some of them are definitely capitalized.
Some of them.
They're
Some
not
of
even
them.
the same.
There's
No, I
20
think-
names in
I
here.
made Amon Ra look so beautiful. I put the dash, the period.
Well,
in
we're
it.
not talking about Amon Ra.
And
He took his time with Amon Ra.
And I put the.
But
the
now-
capital
The
now
on it.
disrespect
I hope
on
Brandon Ayuk sees
Ayuk's
this,
name.
comes to your house and just like beats you up.
I'll let him in.
I'll give him your address.
I wouldn't be surprised
802
if he-
call court.
I wouldn't be surprised if he broke in.
That's good.
This is terrible. All right, continue. I'm so sorry for this heinous behavior coming from our
2
producers.
episodes in a
You suck.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, if he stays with the 49ers, Brock, it's a system he's familiar with. He's thrived in for a few years now.
Right.
There's a lot of other weapons around him,
Mm-hmm.
but in my opinion, I think he's better than Debo.
As a receiver, absolutely.
I
would
don't
take
think.
Brandon Ayuk as a receiver.
Yeah, so I don't think that he's gonna lose receptions if he stays with the 49ers.
Mhm.
And then there's also talks about him going to Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Well, I think if he goes to the Steelers, he's gonna thrive. Because whether it's
Really?
Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, whichever one of them is the quarterback for the majority of the season,
Mhm.
if they have Ayuk, I feel like that's their number one guy.
I think he's just going there to get paid. Well, George Pickens is there.
Well, yeah, but I feel like, in my
He wants
opinion,
to be that number
Ayuk
one
is
guy.
better than Pickens. I mean, I think
Should be.
if he goes to the Steelers in the beginning, Pickens probably will be the number one for a little bit. But by the time the halfway mark of the season comes, Ayuk's gonna take over. Because like we were saying with who we talking about in the news, in the new system. Oh, Dotson.
John Dotson.
Like we were talking about with Dotson. New system with 2 weeks until the NFL season. It's gonna take some time to adjust.
Right.
So I feel like if he goes to a different team, give him a few weeks, he'll be a top 10 receiver at the end of the season. But as of right now, as of 3 hours ago, 49ers GM John Lynch said Thursday that he has no updates on Ayuk, but remains in contact with the wide receiver.
Right.
So that's not good news.
Well, I think as a top 10 receiver in the game, I mean, you could definitely argue that he is fantasy-wise. It's going to be tough this year. Yeah. Steelers right now are having trouble figuring out who their quarterback even is and who the starter is.
I think it's going to be Russell Wilson for the first couple weeks, and then Fields is going to
until he fails, and then Fields will come in, and then he'll fail again.
No, because Fields was looking good during the preseason. He was looking pretty good.
Yeah, during the preseason.
So? You were just glazing Caleb Williams because he looked good in the preseason for the Bears.
Yeah.
Why can't?
Well, because we've only got a couple games out of Caleb. I've seen 3 seasons now from Justin Fields.
Yeah,
and
it's
not been good.
In a terrible system.
It's not been good. You act like the Steelers are like the Cowboys or the Niners.
They're better than the Bears.
Slightly. Maybe. No, I don't know about this year.
Maybe not this year, but this as of right now, the system's better in Pittsburgh than it is in Chicago.
All right. I think he's going there just for the money.
He could, but I do think he.
I hate that he's going there. I really do.
He'll produce. I mean, last year he finished as wide receiver 14.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, no, he had a great year and a great offense with Brock Purdy.
I think he could finish in the 15 to 10 range.
I think he's going there really to kill his career. The Steelers are just not great, and they're not going anywhere. And until they do something coach-wise and they actually get a quarterback and, taking care of the offense like they do the defense, then I don't really see him doing much there. Sometimes all it takes is that
one player. Sometimes all it takes is that one player. This guy could be that one player.
Can he go there to play quarterback? I heard they need one.
Hey.
They got two assholes that are just fucking chasing each other
won a Super Bowl. You don't need a star quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
1985.
So? But I think
Nick Foles won a Super Bowl.
Okay, Nick Foles played amazing in those playoffs, bro. You can't even deny that. I'm a Giants fan, and I'm saying that. Nick Foles played amazing that season when he played. But I think he's going to end up with the Steelers. I don't see him back on the 49ers this year.
That's a damn shame.
Because I feel like if he was going to be back on the 49ers, it would have happened already. They would have already had a deal. So the fact that it's taken this long, I feel like he doesn't really want to be there.
I don't even know what it means anymore. I mean, this is the weirdest thing. We're on verbal agreements.
It might mean that
we're in August.
I know.
Late August.
I know.
What is that? Where's
season starts in 2
verbal agreement shit come from? What are we doing?
I think it might be because Ayuk might want to be the guy on a team. Because, in the 49ers, you got CMC, you got Kittle, you got Samuel. He's not the headliner.
But how the Niners didn't immediately come in with a huge contract for him
as
soon as the Super Bowl is over. Unless they're just not paying him as much as Debo is getting paid, and maybe that's what he wants to get paid.
Maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I feel like if he wanted to be a 49er, he would have made a deal already. Even if it wasn't the money
the money's
he
just
wanted.
not there.
Yeah, even if it wasn't the money he wanted, I feel like he still would have done it.
But it is
like me personally, if the 49ers offer me a contract, I don't care if it's like $10 million less than what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be on the 49ers because
But then again, it is supposed to be a trade, so maybe the Niners just aren't feeling what the Steelers are offering. Maybe they want like a first round pick for him or something. I don't know what it is.
Only time will tell. I mean, I'm sure something will happen within the next 2 weeks. I really don't see him not on a roster.
Right. He'll be on a roster.
Week 1.
Yeah.
So I just don't know which. He might not play week 1, but he's definitely gonna be on the sideline of some NFL team. Week 1. So
I mean, if it falls through with the Steelers, then he'll just be playing with the Niners.
No, I know, but I'm saying
perfect scenario.
Yeah.
Best scenario, in my opinion.
For him, I mean, I definitely think he'll do better in San Fran, but I do think he's gonna end up on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, listen, Brandon Ayuk, great talent. great in fantasy last year. I have him as an honorable mention, somewhere in the 11 to 15 range. Along with, listen, it was tough to get these rankings for the last couple down here at the bottom 10.
Yeah.
You could switch in any of these names, and I would be like, okay, that's fine. Realistically, it was close between every single one of them. So I got, DJ Moore, Nico Collins, and Deebo Samuel are going to be right outside the top 10. Unfortunately, I don't know if you guys out there have those. Deebo, Nico Collins, and DJ Moore.
Okay.
Just right outside the top 10, but if you had put either one of these at the 10, 9 spot, honestly, I would be like, okay.
You see, we have
fine.
very similar honorable mentions for this list. But the guy that I'm thinking of, that's like my number one honorable mention, you didn't say, which makes me think he's on your list somewhere.
Or just way back.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
He's definitely.
Well, we'll find out.
He better be on.
We'll start off with mine. All right.
If he's not your honorable.
I'm starting with the longevity play here and Mr. Consistency.
That was him.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans.
This is who. Okay.
He's my number 11.
This is your number 11. Okay.
Just because Baker needs to
Listen,
prove himself a little more.
he was like right there. He's just. This is Mr. Consistency.
Yeah,
right here,
it was between him and Ayuk for me.
Yeah, this is Mr. 1,000 yards every year since he's been in the league. All right. Baker comes in last year. Mike Evans' career, deathbed. Everyone's writing him off. Right, Baker off, the Bucks off, they're done, right?
Baker didn't look bad, though.
Baker looked great last year.
I know.
The Bucks
Baker's
offense
proving
looked
people wrong.
great. Chris Godwin was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, no.
But Mike Evans, 13 touchdowns last year. It's the second most he's ever had in his career in a season. 1,300 yards. Dude, and he just signed another deal, staying with the Bucks. He's going to do exactly what he did last year. I think seriously.
I feel like Baker's like a roller coaster, He has ups and he has downs.
And I'm not saying it was pretty last year.
No, I know, but don't get me wrong, he did well. Yeah. He needs to continue to do well for Mike Evans to be on this list.
I don't really have too much to say about him necessarily. It's just like Baker got paid, Mike got paid, and I think that they're both just going to repeat what they did last year.
Okay.
With no hindrances.
I'm not mad. I mean, there's not much to say about Mike Evans. Everyone knows Mike Evans is Mr. Consistency.
Exactly. So I think
his career is like what every coach wants for their wide receivers.
Yeah.
1,000 yards every year, stays healthy every year.
1,000 yards, at least double-digit touchdowns. Yeah. I mean, in an ideal world,
He has the ability to make like these flashy catches.
Hall of Fame career.
Oh, 100%.
Hall of Fame career.
100%. He's got a Super Bowl.
Got a Super Bowl too.
Pro Bowler.
Multi-time Pro Bowler. I don't actually know if he's been an All-Pro.
I'm assuming. I don't know about first team, but maybe second team.
Definitely second team at some point. But yeah, that's how I'm starting off my list.
I'm not mad at it. Not mad at it.
All right. You're 9.
At number 9, I got the same guy that finished as wide receiver 9 last year, and that is Stephon Diggs.
Word.
Stephon Diggs did great in Minnesota. Did great in Buffalo. And I think he's gonna do even better in Houston with CJ Stroud. I mean, granted, he's not the only guy in Houston like he was in the Bills and Vikings. I mean, Vikings he had Thielen, but like Diggs was clearly the number one. The wide receiver core, the Texans have the best wide receiver core in the league.
Could definitely make that argument.
They got him. They got Diggs. They have Nico Collins.
Yeah.
They have Tank Dell. They have Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
And
I'm
then
confused. Are you arguing for Diggs right now or against him?
I'm saying why I put him down at 9.
Okay.
Because last year I would have put him higher.
Right.
I'm only putting him 9 because he's not that. He's not like the only superstar on his team.
Yeah.
But
you think he's going to do enough with all those mouths
I think he's going to do enough to
finish as a top 10 wide receiver.
Top 10.
Wow. Over Nico?
Because out of all those guys, he's still the veteran. I feel like Stroud is still going to target him more just because, he's one of the best route runners in the league. He's going to get open easily. He always does.
Yeah.
So I feel like Stroud just could be that's going to be like his safety blanket. It's going to be Diggs.
What about Nico? What about Tank Dell?
No, I think they're going to get their fair share. They would ride, dude. They're there, but I mean, when you have 3 Pro Bowl caliber receivers,
right? You
could only spread the ball so much.
Well, that's what I mean. Nico and Tank Dell were doing this without Diggs last year, and they were putting up phenomenal numbers.
You can't give 3 receivers 1,000 yards.
Well, 1,000 yards, yes.
I don't think that's ever happened.
It happened.
3 receivers? I know 2. 100%.
3. You'd have to look that up if you want to go ahead. I'm actually curious. Go ahead.
Because I know 2 has happened.
I feel like it has happened in the history of the Niffle. I'm actually not too sure. But if it hasn't been done, this would be the year to do it. But there's been plenty of teams over the history of time that have had.
It's happened.
It's happened before?
5 times.
Okay.
The 1980 San Diego Chargers, the 85 Commanders, the 95 Falcons, the 04 Colts, and the 08 Cardinals.
Oh, so it hasn't happened for a
since
while.
2008.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's a hard thing to do. I personally don't think.
You're banking on CJ Stroud at over 5K.
No,
and then,
but
3K go to those receivers, and then Schultz and, the rest of the offense get some yards there.
I don't see all 3 of them getting 1,000 yards.
Right.
I think close. I think Diggs definitely. Obviously, he's in my top 10.
I think Diggs finishes high. I think he does well. I
think he finishes higher than 9?
No. I don't have him. I have Nico finishing higher than he does.
Really?
Yeah, because Nico is, he clearly showed that he could be the one in an offense, and he balled out with C.J. Stroud.
No, I know,
year,
but I mean, I feel like it's not really an argument. Diggs is going to be the number 1.
There's definitely an argument. We have a diva coming in from the Bills who has nothing on tape from the last 9 games of the year.
I think Diggs is still going to be.
And we have Nico, who already has a year with Stroud. Diggs has no playing time with Stroud.
See what happens. I'm standing by my list.
Not arguing the talent or whatnot.
I mean,
but Nico's, younger, faster, and Tank Dell, too. That's the wild card.
No, I know. Those 2 guys are literally the only reason Diggs isn't high on this list.
There's like a 1A, 1B, 1C situation going on.
Because, if Diggs was the only guy in Houston, it was just Stroud and Diggs, I'd put him high, obviously. I'd put him at 5.
Yeah, fantasy-wise, for sure, because he'd be the only one getting the targets.
Yeah, I know, but, he's got those 2 other guys, and, Dalton Schultz is going to get his fair share of targets, too, so I think 9 is a perfect spot.
Well, let me tell you this, because I got Nico right outside the top 10, and I have him higher than everybody in the Houston offense.
Okay.
There's too many mouths to feed.
I know.
Stroud's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of them are going to finish high, but not as high as as we think. I don't think Stroud I don't think Diggs or Collins or Tank Dell are going to really finish necessarily in the top 10 because, he's got to feed the ball to all of them. There's not going to be one that gets the ball really necessarily more than the other, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at your argument.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Diggs is going to do a little bit better than you think. But, honestly, if your argument is right, I wouldn't be surprised just with the talent there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I feel pretty confident in Diggs getting into a top 10 spot.
All right. I mean, listen, I don't mind it. I think you're just disregarding Collins and Tank Dell a little bit.
I might be a little bit. I mean, I'm not taking away saying that they're not those guys. They're good. Yeah. They're good. Tank Dell was he was a rookie last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good to win Rookie of the Year probably. I think he would have beat Stroud out for it if he didn't break his leg.
Tank Dell,
yeah.
The guy that was catching the passes from his quarterback throwing the ball, that would have never happened. Puka was the only one that was in contention, and he broke records and still wasn't in. Still wasn't close.
I was a big
it's all right. I hear what you're saying.
I was a big Tank Dell fan last year.
All right.
I think he had a chance at it.
My number 9 is a guy who just signed a big contract this offseason, playing for a little team called the Colts. Pretty sure you heard of them, right?
No, actually, I never have. Where are they from?
Another, this little town called Indianapolis.
Really?
Never been.
I thought they were from Baltimore.
Heard it's great, though. Oh, long time ago.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've been
they just recently changed. Mr. Michael Pittman. I have it my number 9. All right, we're back. Fucking difficulties, whatever. We're going to cut so many times. I hate it.
Who you got? Michael Pittman.
Michael Pittman.
Talk about him.
Yeah.
Talk to me, John.
He's great. Signed that big deal in the offseason. I think the Colts are going to be a force to be reckoned with. this season. I think everyone's high on Anthony Richardson coming back, second year removed from the injury now.
I mean, he's on both of our
After
lists.
he started off last year pretty good in his first couple games, wouldn't you say? Yeah. Jonathan Taylor, I don't know if you heard of that guy. Coming back.
It's such an old name.
From injury.
He's still playing?
Yeah. Yeah, no, he is. He definitely is, Michael Pittman finished as the wide receiver 13 last year. 109 catches, most in his career. 1,150 yards,
Congratulations.
most in his career. Touchdowns were a little on the low side, but
What do you have?
only 4.
Okay.
But yards and catch-wise with...
He also didn't really have a...
Who was Gardner Minshew was quarterback last year? Is that who was throwing the ball?
He didn't really have a...
Not that great. And he only missed 1 game last year. Definitely deserving of the money. I think he even takes another step in the offense, especially with Anthony Richardson there. Going to force feed his alpha
once you have like a
wide receiver.
solidified starting quarterback,
You don't get paid all this money and don't get force fed at least, 150 targets.
I mean, who are the
over
other
the course of the
receivers?
year? Alec Pierce.
Yeah, so Michael Pittman.
Yeah.
There's not much to say about him, to be honest.
No, and I think, he's going... I mean, he's going pretty far, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
Nobody really is... no one's really on the Pittman train as much as I am, I guess.
Yeah, you rave about him.
3, 4, 8. I mean, he's going in like the 18 to 22 range of wide receivers, which is actually kind of crazy. So I think you're getting a value really for him at that spot, I mean, I don't know how you here's a guy, Devontae Adams. I don't know how you necessarily feel about him fantasy-wise this season. I assume he's on your list and pretty high up there. Maybe. But for me, I would much rather go with Michael Pittman over Devontae Adams.
I mean, Adams is not on your list.
He's not. I'll just tell you that he's not. Okay. He would be in with the other guys I was talking about with DJ Moore, Debo, right outside the top 10 because he's just so good.
He is.
And he's still getting paid an insane amount of money, and he's the reason why the Raiders offense will win games and do well. And if you just force feed him the ball, he will put up 15 catches, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns a game. I just don't trust the Raiders offense at all. But no matter what quarterback you put in there, it relies on how many times I want to force feed Adams and how consistent he can be throughout the season. I just think Pittman will be more consistent than Adams will this year.
Okay.
So that would be my argument for that. Plus, there's a few other receivers here too. Like Drake London, I know a lot of people are big on because he's really the only one in that offense besides Kyle Pitts that's going to get the ball a lot.
Yeah.
And, with Kirk Cousins there, new quarterback, it's a big deal. But I still think Michael Pittman finishes higher than all of them.
Okay.
And he's pretty consistent.
I feel like that's a little bit of a bold statement, but okay. All
right. I mean, listen, he still does well with multiple quarterbacks, and I think now with Anthony Richardson coming back, I think he already had a great season last year. Finishes just outside the top 10. I'm saying he finishes right inside the top 10 this year. Takes another step.
Okay.
I don't think it's that bold.
Okay.
I don't think it's as bold as some of the takes I have.
All right. I mean, it's definitely not as bold as the take I'm about to make.
I can't wait for this.
You ready for it? Or do you have something else to say about Michael?
No, I'm good. I think I'm all right.
All right,
I can't wait for this.
What is this? Number 7, right?
This is 8.
Oh, this is 8. Oh, okay.
So we're not up to the Bill take yet?
Oh, so quick. Let me check my list. Oh, no, we are.
I didn't check yours, so I'm just as surprised as you are.
I got the numbers mixed up a little bit. But,
Bold take coming in?
This is the bold take.
Oh, can't wait. Here we go.
So I think this
Am I going to flame you right now? Or am I going to be in agreement with you?
Maybe.
Because sometimes I think so outside the box, I'm like okay with the bad take.
See, this is me thinking outside the box. I think this guy's going to have a resurgence in his career.
Yep.
He's had a few down seasons, but before the last 2 seasons, he was that guy. Everyone wanted him. I got Cooper Kupp.
All right.
I got Cooper Kupp. The last 2 seasons, he's been injured. He missed majority of the season, really.
Right.
For the last 2 years, but before that, his last full healthy season was 2021, and he finished wide receiver 1.
Yep.
So I mean, I didn't put him higher because I'm this is me expecting him to be healthy all year and be like, like no wear and tear. Like he's Cooper Kupp. He's getting open, catching balls, all that.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I didn't put him higher is because you do have Puka there. Puka Nacua is definitely going to take away a lot of Kupp's receptions and yards.
Right.
But I feel like Cooper Kupp still has the talent. He's still that guy in LA that he's gonna beat out Puka for the number 1 spot, and he's gonna finish higher. Because him and Matthew Stafford, they got that chemistry going.
They have a chemistry.
They have a great chemistry. The only reason that Cooper hasn't been good the last few years is because he just hasn't been healthy.
They have a chemistry,
He
but
has to stay on the field.
despite him having the greatest wide receiver season of all time, it is from top to bottom, from start to the Super Bowl win.
Johnson? Calvin?
Did Calvin win a Super Bowl?
No, but he has.
Did Calvin win Super Bowl MVP
Most
as a receiver?
Most yards. I mean,
Cooper Kupp was like 20 yards behind that.
When you look at those stats, he actually was.
I'm saying from start to finish.
Okay.
It's the greatest wide receiver season of all time.
Okay. I mean, look at all the.
Cooper Kupp was only 20 yards shorter. Huh?
So if you look at the awards, like, I guess.
It was only that. Well, he might have won Offensive Player of the Year. He definitely won Offensive Player of the Year.
He did.
Oh, man.
Okay, you know, yeah.
Anyway, besides
Cooper
that,
Kupp, best receiving season.
been hurt the last 2 years, which has been awful. Now, granted, you come off that number 1 spot. All right, you get hurt the next year. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens to every big superstar.
But then you get hurt again.
Whatever. Then it's like even worse the next year, and then we found your replacement in the draft. That's the problem. And guess what? You're back and you're 31 years old.
I don't think
coming
he's done
from
yet,
multiple injuries.
I don't think he's done
and
yet.
your rookie replacement had a phenomenal
I
season.
don't think he's done yet.
But 8 though?
8.
And you think he finishes higher than Puka did?
Yes.
I don't know. Did you see Matthew Stafford throwing the ball to Puka last year?
No, I know, but I don't know. I feel like.
And they practically made the playoffs without him.
Yeah, but I feel like Puka's going to take a little bit of step down. Now that. Assuming Cooper Kupp
No,
stays
we don't want the
healthy.
Puka. We don't want the Puka regression.
Well, it might just be for a year. Sophomore slump.
Puka was the wide receiver 4 last year as a
sophomore
rookie.
slump.
God damn.
Sophomore slump. Happened to Todd Gurley.
No,
he
we
won
want
Rookie of the Year.
sophomore bump.
Bro, had
Sophomore
Todd Gurley
bump.
won Rookie of the Year.
Sophomore
Terrible
bump.
sophomore season. And then
Who
won
is this?
Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley.
Rookie of the Year.
Mhm.
Was he Rookie of the Year? I don't know if he won Rookie of the Year, but he had a great rookie season.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible sophomore season. And then following season, Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Like, sophomore slumps happen all the time. I think Puka's going to go through a little sophomore slump. And Cooper Kupp is just going to be Cooper Kupp. And he's going to finish higher. He's going to finish at 8.
Puka, man. 105, 1486, 6. I mean, those are tough numbers to...
No, I know, but...
Listen, I mean, Cooper Kupp's got to stay on the field. That's
what I'm saying.
That's the first
This
thing.
is
He was
assuming-
pretty injured last
This
year.
is assuming Kupp does not get injured and plays all 17 games.
But that's what I mean with, like, that's my point with the greatest receiving season of all time and then 2 back-to-back injured seasons. It's like, it's kind of like with McCaffrey, had one of the greatest, like, fantasy running back seasons ever. 2 back-to-back seasons.
But
Write
now
him
look
off.
at McCaffrey.
I don't want to necessarily write him off. But then again, McCaffrey never had his replacement already in the building doing well while he was off the
You
field.
see, I feel like that's just something to
That's what I mean.
to fuel off of. Because
Okay.
it's no secret that Puka's the next guy up in LA. And Cooper knows
Oh,
that.
he's the guy now.
Dude,
He's the one.
Cooper knows that. Cooper knows that.
Okay.
I think he's gonna use that, and he's gonna have a monster season.
Like, I could see you having Puka, like, at, like, 10, maybe right outside the top 10. I would have never thought Cooper Kupp would have been higher than Puka at this point.
Yeah, bro.
Not after what I saw last year.
I think he's
In
gonna
his
have a
rookie year
resurgence
already?
in his career. I think so.
You think that's happening now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Jerry Rice played till he was
Very
40.
interesting
Cooper Kupp's gonna
take,
play
but
till he's
okay.
45.
Brother, we are not comparing him to Jerry Rice right now, are we?
I was just kidding.
Okay.
I was just kidding.
Well, this is actually a great segue.
Mhm.
Right off of Cooper Kupp.
You got
Because
Puka?
my 8 guy, his replacement.
Puka.
Yeah. The number 1 guy in LA. The much better, more improved Cooper Kupp.
Okay.
Okay. I got the guy that's going to take all of his touchdowns, catches, and yards away. And Puka Nacua is going as high as the 2nd round, possibly late 1st round right now.
Oh. Hold up. You said.
Everything.
Oh.
He's taking all of it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
right.
No, I feel like we just, talked about him. Producer
Yeah,
also
not.
spelt his name wrong. This is just
Pula Nakua.
This is just a
We
shit
need a
show.
new editor.
My producer's still dyslexic, so that's his. We can't necessarily fault him. We are.
Man, I was just giving him a good shout out too.
Well, I
in the
know.
Commercial break for getting
We
his
are
first
having
job.
him do letters, which is not his strong suit.
Maybe we should have him do numbers. Actually, no. He just had to retake the geometry test.
Not good at numbers either.
Not good at numbers.
Gets those mixed up too.
Yep.
It's bad news. I'm surprised he put the right pictures up here, honestly.
Yeah, right. He almost didn't for one of them.
Well, I don't know about Pula Nakua. That might be his stepbrother or whatever. But
Yeah.
Puka Nakua, the one in the Rams offense, the guy that's going to possibly have a better year than he did last year. And it's pretty hard to top. Over 100 catches, almost 1,500 yards. Touchdowns weren't necessarily there. I could see the touchdowns going up. He had 6 last year. I could definitely see those going up. Mm-hmm. I'm going to ride that train until I see a healthy Cooper Kupp come back and take over
you
Puka's
will
job.
this year.
Okay.
You will this year. Mark
And
my
take
words.
away
It is
his catches. and
August
yards.
22nd, 2024 at 4:03 p.m. I, Kevin Kazokis, solemnly swear that Cooper Kupp will have a better season than Puka Nakua this year.
I gotta
Mark
say,
my words.
man,
Sign the table.
I gotta say, man, that's a pretty bold take. It really is a hot take.
If I am wrong, I will jump into the ocean on December 17th.
Ass naked.
Wait, no. Season's still going on there.
Why December 17th?
January.
January 2nd.
January
1st, on New Year's Day.
January 2nd. I will jump
Ass
into
naked.
into the ocean. Not ass naked, but in my underwear.
All right, fine.
Because ass naked, that's a case right there.
Okay, fine. Fine. I'll take that. You shaking on that? Hell yeah. Yeah, Puka's better. We'll move on. Yeah.
Praying for an injury.
Now that we ran through the entire Rams offense.
Uh,
All right, moving on to number 7.
Number
Kev.
7.
We're getting
See,
there. We're climbing.
This, from 7 on, I feel like we had the same guys. Well, actually,
Yeah.
I have one guy on my list that I know you don't. Because we already talked
Right.
about it a little bit.
Yeah, and Kevin,
But-
I gotta tell you right now, I'm looking at your screen because you have it pulled up, and I'm just gonna be really upset if this is your next guy you're about to talk about. I'm not gonna lie,
Bro, for me,
and I think that's a little controversial
joke.
how low you have him.
no joke. I went through all 7 for like...
You really thought this through.
I thought about it for a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, I have thought about it after we already submitted the list to our producer
Mm-hmm.
to make the slideshow and all that.
Would you like to change him? You
Since-
have that option
Since
now,
we already have the slideshow,
but it's okay. We could switch him. You can move him
I'm
up.
keeping him on the list, but I do think he's going to finish higher.
So you want to wait till the end to move him up?
Yes.
But what, you want to talk about him now?
I'll talk about him now.
Listen, we could move on.
Well-
You want to talk about him
No,
now?
hold on a second.
We can move it.
Honestly, I would just switch my 7 and 6.
All right. So okay, we'll just talk about him then.
Okay, I'll talk about him.
And that's as high as you would go with him?
For all of these guys? Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Let's go ahead. You want me to throw him up?
Yeah, throw him up. I got Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I have him at 7. After thinking about it for longer, after submitting the list, I would put him 6th. But since he's up here right now, we'll talk about him. He says 7. Let's pretend that he's 6. Finished last year, wide receiver 3. He's in a great Detroit offense. Great scheme. He has a pretty solid quarterback in Jared Goff. You know? I mean, he's what? He's going to his 4th year now. Like, he gets better every year. Every single year.
Mm-hmm.
I think this year he might take just a little bit of a back. Just a little back.
Just a little step back.
A little step back. I mean, last year he had 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns. I don't think he hit 15
The
again.
touchdowns might drop a little bit.
Honestly, I was thinking he might get like 13 and 8. That's what I think he's going to finish this year. 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns. Because, I mean,
Okay.
1,500 yards, that's crazy. 1,500 yards is insane.
It's a lot of yards.
I know. I don't think he's hitting that again this
It's a
year.
lot of yards.
Because to hit 1,500 yards back-to-back years,
Mm-hmm.
dude, like,
I could see that happening again.
I
Maybe
don't-
not so much 10 touchdowns,
I don't
but
think he will.
I think it's also hard because, Tyreek Hill and CeeDee Lamb had just had such great seasons that, this would have been wide receiver 1 really on like
No, I know.
like a lot of years. You know what I
But-
mean?
You still have CeeDee Lamb and Tyreek Hill. They're still playing.
Right.
You know? And you also have like Jefferson, Jamal Chase, like
Well,
got those guys
you
playing.
don't know where I have him, so we'll just keep
I
it
have a
going.
feeling you have him top 3.
Mm.
I think he's probably like your number 3.
Right.
But I think, like, really, I just think he's gonna lose some yardage.
I mean, he's going at
Okay.
about the 4th receiver off the board,
No, I know.
3rd or 4th,
I know.
behind
I know.
Tyreek Hill and CeeDee.
No, trust me, I know. But I just think, you know, with with Sam Laporta,
Mm-hmm.
he had a great rookie season.
Phenomenal.
Started tight end 1, right?
Yep.
Finished.
Had 10 touchdowns.
Yeah. So I think him
Amon-Ra had
coming
10
in, I think
touchdowns.
I think Laporta's gonna have more of a say in the not say, but increased role in the offense.
Right.
You know, bigger dude. I think he's gonna take some yards away from Amon-Ra.
Okay.
That's all I have to say. I think he's.
Is that all you got?
I think he's just gonna take a little bit of a
little bit of a step
little
back.
bit of step back.
I mean,
Nothing
listen,
crazy.
I cannot.
I mean, hey,
listen,
1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns. That's still a great.
I
season
want to
for us.
respect it, but the Lions' offense are in their fucking just like they are just moving.
No, I
Okay.
know. I know.
And I know they reached the NFC Championship last year. Their offense was incredible.
I was so hoping for them to go to.
Would it
Super
be
Bowl.
crazy for me to just say that their offense takes another step next year? Is that even possible? They hit such a ceiling. You know, Monty, Gibbs, Amon-Ra, and Laporta all had double-digit touchdowns last year. 4 people in one offense, 40 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's insane.
But you think they
Touchdown
they top that?
regression might happen, but maybe yards and catches increase.
I don't know.
You know, 119 catches, 1,500 yards. You could definitely see the catches and the yards possibly going up.
For Amon-Ra?
Yeah.
I don't.
And then the touchdown, I could see that going either way.
Yeah.
I could see that jumping to like 12 or 13 or dropping to like 6 or 5.
I don't think. I can see the touchdowns going up before.
He's
I
just
see the
getting
yards
better
going
every
up.
year.
No, I know, but I can see the touchdowns going
This
up.
could be his wide receiver 1 year next year. He could just come out and just be the number 1 receiver next year. 1,800 yards,
John, are you hinting? that
12
you have him at
touchdowns.
number 1 on your
I'm not
list?
hinting anything. I'm just saying.
John, if Amon-Ra is number 1 on your list,
He's not number 1, I'll tell you that.
he better not.
He's
Because
not
I feel
number
like number 1, there's a clear number 1.
He's not number 1. But we'll move on here.
Who
You
got?
good? You got anybody? You still want to talk about him?
No, I
Good?
mean,
Sure?
Yeah.
That's all you want to say about
Yeah.
the Sun God?
Sun God.
All right, I'll move on to my 7.
We got a 7, John.
My 7 is, it's a guy
I would hope so. It's the NFL. It's not
who,
the WNFL.
well, there's like women, just not players.
Yeah, the referees.
They're everywhere.
You think a referee's gonna suit up and
Listen,
And be a top
you don't
10
know who's on my
wide
list.
receiver?
You don't know who's on my list, all right?
Sydney?
I got Debbie at 4, all right?
Who?
Debbie.
Hank's mom?
Yeah, Deb is coming in at the top 4. This guy, talent-wise, is undeniable.
Okay.
Young guy. His 3rd year in the league, all right? Gets the old man back. I think you know where I'm going with this one. Gets the old man, the young gun. Hopefully this offense can stay healthy, and we finally get to see this dynamic duo together. The old man throwing to Mr. 1-7 in the green.
Yeah, I know you're talking
Mr. Garrett Wilson.
about. Isn't he wearing number 5 now?
That's actually true. He is
Yeah,
actually
he's
wearing
right.
number 5. Well, that 1-7, that was kind of hinting towards Devontae Adams. When he was in the green,
Yeah.
1-7, whatever. But I'm excited for him. Okay, because last year was very high on Garrett Wilson. Drafted him everywhere I could, and it was disappointing.
Yeah.
Very
I
disappointing.
mean, he didn't have a quarterback last
He
year.
didn't have a
Zach Wilson.
quarterback, but he had, everybody was hyped that Aaron Rodgers was coming into town. Garrett Wilson is going to finish as a top 5 wide receiver, and listen, who can argue with that? Devontae Adams has been that dog.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers has been the one throwing the football. So why can't Aaron Rodgers come to New York and force feed Garrett Wilson and make him that dog?
He could. I mean, hey, I got Aaron Rodgers in my top 10 quarterback list.
I got Garrett Wilson at 7.
I have to say, I got Rodgers on my list. Wilson on my
You
list.
don't see now that just makes absolutely no sense to me. Tell me right now, look the camera in the lens and actually make that make any sense. Now, you just threw my head for a loop, and I'm pretty here right now, but you just that makes no sense.
Yeah.
How do you have him? How do you have Rodgers That doesn't make zero sense.
I think Rodgers.
Explain it to me. Go ahead.
I think
Lay it out. Lay it out for me.
Whoa.
Lay it all out for me right now. How do you have Rodgers in the top 10, but you don't have the young superstar he's throwing? He's supposed to be getting his points from.
I just think Aaron Rodgers is going to spread the ball around the Jets' offense.
What offense?
Well, Garrett Wilson, obviously.
Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson.
Mike Williams.
We got to hurt Mike Williams.
If he gets healthy.
He ain't going to be playing most of the year.
Yeah. No, I don't have to explain
Where's the argument?
I don't have to explain myself to you.
Yes, you do, bitch.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I'm not under oath.
I want to know.
This isn't
I just want to know where you're coming from.
Nope.
I'm just trying to understand it.
I'm trying to put it together.
You don't like him? Too bad.
You can't handle the truth.
You can't. Aaron Rodgers is still that guy.
I'm ready to handle it. I'm ready.
Aaron Rodgers is about to rush for 500 yards.
You want that struck from the record?
Screw it. Leave it on the record.
But yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say. I mean, Garrett Wilson's talent's clearly there. He's been doing well with bad quarterback play, but he hasn't been able to hit his ceiling with a good quarterback as much as he is doing with bad quarterback play. Zach Wilson. Aaron Rodgers, full healthy season this year. Garrett Wilson, easily top 10. I don't think that's even a question. He's going to make it happen himself.
I don't
really think anybody's really arguing that. I mean, Garrett's going as about the 6th or 7th receiver off the board, second round.
No, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the top 10. He's just in my top 10. He's right outside.
And I really want this to work.
Yeah.
Because after last year, usually I would get off these players, you know, if it didn't work out for me last year. But, like, this year, I want it to happen. I'm rooting for him. I want the Jets' offense to work. Okay? I'm rooting for Garrett Wilson. I hope for a higher finish than 7, really. But I think 7's good for right now. Okay. Until I see it.
Okay. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he's in that top 10 list at the end of the year. I wouldn't be. But
I think you would.
I know. Well, he's right outside the top 10.
He's right outside.
Right outside.
But Aaron Rodgers is somehow in. Okay.
Trust the process.
Yep. Okay.
Trust the process.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, Quincy Enunwa's coming out of retirement.
Dude, if Quincy Enunwa comes in, Aaron Rodgers might finish 1.
Right.
Straight up. Then you'd have an argument. If the GOAT came out to play. Up to 6.
Number 6.
Up to 6. Here we go.
So remember, this guy is at my number 6 right now. But if I had to redo the list.
What is going on?
Okay. This guy's
What
at my
the
number.
fuck?
This guy is at my number 6 right now.
Oh
If I
my
had to redo the
god.
list, him and Amara will switch, so he's really my 7th.
Are we? Yeah, we're going right now? Alright.
Yeah, but since he's slideshow's already made, he'll be my 6th for now. I got John. That dog. This guy is that dog. You know?
Yeah, I can
He
see
finally
that.
has a guy that's going to start the whole season for him from day 1 until the season ends.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing that 1-7 in that black and white. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Davante Adams. Put him up there. Let me see him. Hey, Davante. Hey, double capital this time. Good job, producer.
Look at this. He did his job.
So, yeah. Davante Adams, he's not coming off of a bad season, you know?
No.
He finished
Wide receiver
10.
10. No,
Which
he
is
was that
honestly-
dog.
That's like a bad season for him because previous years he was 3-2-1. And-
Davante Adams is great,
I
man.
know, and the Raiders just named Gardner Minshew their full-time starter,
Mm-hmm.
which I am very. I am a Gardner Minshew fan. I got his jersey his rookie year in Jacksonville because I feel like I don't get why people doubt him and don't want to play him. He's a good quarterback. I feel like with the Colts, it's just going into that season he was the backup, so that's kind of like his mindset was like, okay, I'm the back, and then he just got thrown in because of injury. This season, he knows he's the starter. He's the day 1 starter. So that's his mindset. Is I'm starting quarterback. I'm like this is my team. So I think Gardner Minshew's going to have a much better season, and he's going to target Davante Adams more than anyone. Cause
Has
really,
to.
Like that's really kind of the only option.
No, Gardner is definitely good enough to, he's good enough to win you a few games
He's
and
a good
force
quarterback.
feed your alpha.
He was good in college, and he's good in the NFL.
Davante Adams had 175 targets last year.
Yeah.
That was the second most of his career.
Yeah,
And that beat out last year
yeah, I know.
when he had 180.
I know. I think he gets around the same targets this year. I think Gardner Minshew is just going to feed him the ball, and he's just going to go off and finish at number 7.
I mean, Devontae Adams is the GOAT.
I think he's Devontae
Hall
Adams.
of Fame career.
Yeah. And yo, you were saying Cooper Kupp is old because he was 31. Devontae Adams 31.
We're comparing them. We're comparing Adams and Cooper Kupp right now.
No,
Are you
but I'm
serious?
just saying. I just wanted to make a point there. Probably didn't need to make it, but I wanted to make it.
Adams and Evans are in that same conversation where they're very consistent year in and year out.
No,
they
I know.
put up the same amount of yards, catches, touchdowns.
Dude, look, he had 1,100 last year, and then he had 15, 15, 13.
I would have him around that, around the 10-ish. He is getting older, and it's just hard to
10
keep up
up,
with
that.
all these young receivers that are just so dominant.
If anyone's going to do it, though, it's going to be him. It's going to.
I mean, you have him pretty high. I'm not going to lie.
I'm confident in him. Because I've had Devontae Adams on my team for the
He finished
few
1
years.
and 2 with Rodgers, and then first year in Las Vegas he
With
finished
with
3. I
Derek
can't
Carr.
even believe it.
with Derek Carr.
And then with that absolute mess of a year he had last year, he still finished 10. Listen, I'm not.
So hear me out, dude. You got a good quarterback to play the entire season.
Just hope he
finishing
stays
higher than 10.
healthy. The argument's
since
there
you're the
because
only
it's
guy there.
Devontae Adams. I can't necessarily argue against it
Because
as
also
much
Josh,
as I want
Josh
to.
Jacobs isn't even there anymore.
Yeah, I know.
So they might take away some rushes
It's
and put some
Zamir
more
White.
passing plays. What'd you say?
It's Zamir White.
Yeah, come on, bro.
Garbo.
Yeah, I mean, Devontae Adams is one of the most
Adams is
consistent
that dog.
receivers year in and year out. He's
He's
that
the
dog.
dog.
He's that guy. So, I believe he should be up there.
Statistically, best running back, best receiver in football. Just a little bit on the older side, but he can still get it done. For me,
I don't think
age
he
is not
showed-
really a problem
Yeah,
with
I'm
him.
about to say, I don't think he shows really any signs.
I don't really have an
of slowing
argument
down.
for it. I just don't see a world where he does finish 6.
Okay.
I mean, he'd have to get
Well, it's
force
really
fed
seventh
a
now.
lot.
It's really 7th.
It's really 7th.
Yeah.
I'm getting a phone call. Not getting a phone call anymore.
Who's calling?
Dylan wants to be on the pod, I guess.
Bro, he heard. I mentioned him in the beginning of the video. Who you got at number 6, John?
All right, you want me to bust out my 6
Yeah,
here?
let me know. Let me see it.
Who is my 6? Okay, so now we're kind of getting into the cream of the crop here. Okay, so I'm gonna start it out flat out right here.
Okay.
I got Justin Jefferson at my 6. Okay, and I'm gonna explain to you why.
I have a feeling I know
Let
why
me
you're going to
explain.
say, but
Let me explain. It's really not that crazy when I explain it. Okay,
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson. Okay, we're in the top 6 now. Okay, which I think is fine. We're right here at the top of the list, pretty much.
Okay.
Justin Jefferson. Get a phone call again. Yo,
Hello.
what's going on?
What are you doing?
Yeah, you're on the pod right now.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, here, speaking to the mic, say what's up.
What's up, Pod? Call me later.
Okay,
All right, bye.
bye. That's funny. All right.
But
Now listen. Now, again, I'm actually going to make this argument. I'm going to make this crystal clear for the people who are getting into football, getting into fantasy football, okay? There's a very distinct difference between the two, okay? Because you go on TikTok, right? And you see a lot of people make these lists, right? They release these lists, and you see all these names all over the place, and it's like, oh, that guy should be higher, this guy should be lower, whatever. But it says fantasy on it. Fantasy football, much different from actual skill-based receiver rankings in actual football with skill, okay? Fantasy football, your quarterback matters, your offense matters, your offensive line, your coach matters, your whole scheme matters. The people you're playing next to actually matter. That all matters, okay? In NFL, in real-time football, Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in football, number 1. Maybe number 2 if you want to make an argument for I don't know, maybe Jamar Chase or Devontae Adams or, whoever. But as fantasy football goes, Justin Jefferson is 6 because I believe the other 5 guys just have the best offenses, the quarterback, the coach. They are the dominant one in their offense, no doubt,
You see,
and they're going to get force-fed.
I get what you're saying.
lot.
That obviously Jefferson doesn't have the quarterback this year,
Yeah.
but but he also Hawkinson isn't there. So who is Sam Darnold?
Well, that's
gonna
what I
throw to?
mean.
He's going to throw to Justin Jefferson. He's getting all
Because
the
they don't
targets.
have a quarterback, we have Sam Darnold, right?
Oh,
Obviously,
yeah.
the coach is there, Kevin O'Connell, high-flying offense.
Jefferson is
right?
going to get open no matter what. All Sam Darnold has to do is just put it in his
That's
range.
why he's a great receiver, and obviously he can catch it in triple coverage, quadruple coverage, whatever. I think Hawkinson not being there is also a problem. Jordan Addison is hurt right now. He might not start the first couple weeks, so it's going to just be Jefferson in the offense,
Exactly.
right?
Who do you think?
Going to be covered by the whole defense.
Okay, but still, who do you think's going to put up all the yards? Jefferson.
And I just don't think that that's sustainable for a whole year.
I think. Oh.
That's what I mean. I don't think it's sustainable. You think it's actually sustainable for the entire
as people start coming
17-game
back, yeah.
year that he will
If
finish?
Hawkinson comes back, right?
Do you see a world where he finishes higher than the guys that we have higher?
Yes.
Well, I know you have him there. So
If Hawkinson comes back, and whatever the other dude's name is, I don't know why I'm blanking. If both those guys come back,
Mhm.
and they take a little bit of the pressure off Jefferson, I think he's going to finish way higher.
I
than
think 6 is great for the situation that the Vikings are in. I think 6 is a great number.
You can make the argument he doesn't have the quarterback, but I still think he's.
He doesn't
gonna
have the quarterback, and the offense is falling apart.
I think he's going to have an
The
insane
year he
season.
finished 1, he had Kirk Cousins, he had Kevin O'Connell, Hawkinson joined in late, so it could actually take away from some people on the defense and made it easier for Jefferson. And that was supposed to be last year, and it was going to be last year when Addison got added. Jefferson was on a historic streak the first couple weeks of the season, again with Kirk Cousins.
No, but I'm telling, dude, Justin Jefferson's that guy. He's going to make his quarterback look good. No matter who his quarterback is, he's going to make him look good. I wouldn't be surprised if Sam Darnold ends up in the top 10. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to finish that. I'm kidding.
I know you want to make the argument that the best receiver in football should be finishing high. I think
he's gonna
6
finish
is
top
great
3.
for the
I
situation
think
that
he's
he's
going to
in.
finish top 3 even with the decision because he's that good.
I don't know about that. But
I
then
really
again,
think
like
he's
he
that good.
could because, listen, I'm saying 6, and that's being generous if I'm really being honest. I could have put him lower, straight up. I got to see it from Darnold, full year, how the offense actually plays out. He's not going to get off to that start that Kirk Cousins was putting him on last year, because they both were on MVP, Offensive Player of the Year's, paces to start the year. I think 6 is high enough for the situation that they're in. If Kirk was still there, I'd be putting him 1 or 2.
Okay.
But I can't.
Okay.
I can't personally. And if I'm in a draft, right, and I'm looking at these top guys and then I see Jefferson, most guys would be swayed toward the talent of Jefferson. But then I look towards who's got a better quarterback, who's going to actually give this guy the ball every week, who's got the whole complete offense, and who has actually, because all these guys have been with their quarterback for multiple years and have developed a relationship. Now we got to deal with it again with him going with another quarterback and developing a rapport with another quarterback,
Okay.
That's just my argument with it. Not
I just feel like
blaming
you're not giving.
talent at all. He's
I-
the best
I-
receiver in football.
I just feel like you're not giving them enough.
I feel like I'm giving him enough. I feel like I'm being very fair.
Granted, yes, he's in a terrible situation, but I still think he's still going to produce. He's still going to get into the top receiver rankings.
A 6 not top?
No, I'm talking about like top 3.
I don't see it.
Okay.
Not with the guys that are above him. I don't see it.
Okay. What are we at now? 5? Cracking the
Top
top 5?
five.
Okay. Cracking the top 5.
This is where y'all need to pay attention because these first 2 rounds of your draft
These
make
are
all
where
the
these guys are
difference.
going.
Okay? This is where you need to draft these alphas.
I
Not that
got.
Jefferson is not an alpha. He's the GOAT.
I have at number 5, CeeDee Lamb.
Well, Kevin, I got something to tell you.
You got CeeDee Lamb?
We are in agreement.
Hey, let's go. First
But I
agreement,
don't
baby.
think that's going to go well over with the people.
I don't think so either with just the whole contract situation going on. Because
Yeah.
CeeDee's currently getting fined.
Yeah.
$50K,
Go
I
ahead.
believe. I
You-
believe he's
you-
getting fined $50K a day. He doesn't practice, participate in practice, just because of the contract. Because he is technically still under contract. He just wants that extension. They're not giving it to him, so he's holding out. But the league is finding players who hold out now, $50K a day. So
I think it's going up.
it probably is going up.
Yeah.
But I mean, he hasn't practiced at all.
Especially if he misses a game, that
Dude.
jumps up like $250K.
Bro, these practices and OTAs and everything, they've been going on for a while now, so he's lost a good amount of money. But I
Yeah.
know I see here that they're CD says that they're having promising talks with the team on a contract extension. So that's a good sign. I think how do you not pay this man?
Mhm.
You know, there was this clip like a week or two ago. Jerry Jones said, "I'm not." Like they asked him about it, like, "Oh, what do you think about CD extend?" He goes, "I'm not even thinking about that right now." How are you
Right.
not thinking about that right now? CD is a top receiver in the league.
Yeah.
If I was the GM of a team or an owner of a team, and I had a guy like CD and he wanted a contract extension, best believe he's in my office every single day, from sun up to sun down, until we figure out a contract extension.
Well,
I'm doing everything in my power to get this guy on the field and keep him on the team.
I
They
agree
have
with
to.
you, but it's Jerry Jones, and he's the problem.
No, I know.
And he's got to go.
Bro.
We've been saying this for a couple seasons
He's getting
now.
old now. I don't
He
think
got to
right in the
go.
head.
He's
I
got to
know.
go. Seriously, it's bad. They don't want to pay him. They want to give Dak more money, which is breaking the quarterback market. Not saying that he doesn't necessarily deserve it.
But
When he's healthy, he performs.
you need to split that money in between. You can't just give it all to one player.
CeeDee Lamb wants that Justin Jefferson money. And we really only had that 1 year of last year where he really put it all together,
17.
you know?
But I mean, I do like
And it was a great year,
it was.
which is why I have him at 5.
Dude, I
because
had him.
400 fantasy points in full point PPR.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was more than Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill had a great season last year. And I think that the regression, you know, the sheer volume that he had from Dak last year, I think is going to come down a little bit. We're going to come back to reality just a smidge.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying CeeDee Lamb is not a bad receiver or a bad, for fantasy or whatever. I just think that he drops down a little bit.
Okay.
And these other receivers are just a little bit more consistent,
Yeah.
I would say. But not to say 5 is not a bad spot.
No,
You know, he could
it's a
finish
great
higher.
spot.
The contract thing is definitely worrisome.
That's honestly really why I just put him so low. Because, like, what if they don't get a contract?
And if he
by the
does
start of the
miss,
season and he
does
holds out?
miss week 1,
Yeah, that's a big hit. You know.
I think his shot for a top 3 finish already is out the window.
No, yeah, he needs to play a full season
You have to be
to
flawless.
get above 5.
And the Cowboys' offense, you know, I don't also think it's that promising this year.
You don't?
I mean, the Cowboys, you know, the offensive line obviously is great.
Yeah.
You know, they
did
fixed
lose
it.
Pollard.
They lost Tony Pollard. Not that I was big on Pollard anyway, but they bring in a washed-up Zeke, and they have Rico Dowdle as their two-headed monster back there. They have an aging Brandon Cooks and a Michael Gallup that can't sustain a full season.
Mhm.
And if CeeDee Lamb does not show up, it's the Jake Ferguson show there in Dallas. You know, and Dallas tends to put up great regular seasons. You know, the defense is great. CeeDee Lamb just took on such an insane amount of volume last year, him and Dak, but I just don't see it happening again this year. And I think these other guys that I have ahead just finish higher and have a better season than they had last year.
Huh?
That's just me personally. not that CeeDee Lamb can't finish,
No, yeah. No, I get
but
what you're saying.
I think just for this season upcoming, I believe he'll finish at least at the
I think
5.
5. See, it's, like, if he was practicing this whole summer and he was guaranteed for week 1, I'd probably put him at like 4 or 3. Like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
You know, on that range. But, like, you know, like we said before, we don't even know if he's playing week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and who knows if he'll play week 2. Like, we don't know when this contract is gonna get settled. So
The only reason I have him above Jefferson is because of Dak.
yeah,
Is because he has a quarterback that he's played with the last couple seasons.
yeah. I mean, and Dak,
And he
dude,
has
Dak's a good
clearly
quarterback.
the rapport and the chemistry was there last year.
Oh,
'cause
100%.
you don't just go and put up 400 fantasy points in the season and just, you know, you don't want to just take that and shove it under the rug, you know, because like Jefferson had a great year 2 years ago, comes back, you know, got hurt, but it is what it is, you know. CeeDee Lamb is still very talented, but I don't want to give any more hype or whatever to the Cowboys anyway. So, 5 it is.
At 5. All right. On to number 4. So at number 4, I have AJ Brown.
Ooh, okay.
You know, last year he finished at 5.
Yeah.
So I think he just really the only reason he finished at 5 last year was the receptions, because he had more yards and more touchdowns the prior season, but finished 6th. But he had
That's second year now with Hurts.
No, I know.
You know,
And
second
he
year in that
had-
system.
the only reason he finished above at wide receiver 5 with worse stats than he had the year before, just because he increased his receptions by 13.
Increased receptions, but declined a little bit on touchdowns because AJ
That's what
Brown
I'm
is a
saying.
touchdown
He
machine.
declined in touchdowns and yards.
Like Adams, like Evans.
Yeah.
You know, he is a touchdown machine.
Yeah,
You know,
but
you
now
look
he's
forward.
getting-
You looked in to put up 10 plus touchdowns a
Yeah,
year,
you know that.
a season. You know.
Yeah, but now he he's like, he made that jump, that better connection with Hurts in the second year.
Yep.
Now going into their third year, the connection's even stronger.
Third year, the connection's stronger. The offense is a lot stronger.
Reason
He finishes 6'5", and then you think he finishes one more step higher. So you do believe he gets better.
I do believe he gets better. I'm just hoping Saquon doesn't take away production from Brown, because Saquon is, he's one of the best running backs in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that. And he's behind a great O-line, so I'm hoping they're not going to hand it off more or even pass it to Saquon out of the backfield.
Right.
Because Saquon's a great receiving back as well.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily think that the
I think there's a chance
running back will affect the receiver.
No, I mean, it might. Would Nunu have a receiving back?
Well, you saw what McCaffrey did last year, and Brandon Ayuk got better.
I'm just saying.
And that's Brandon Ayuk.
I hope they don't.
Yeah.
But now, also with the signing of Dotson, you got another pretty solid receiver on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the back half of the season, Dotson might take a little bit of production away from A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith.
Right.
But, I mean, for the beginning, dude.
This guy. New guy. New guy.
And also, there should be dots in between the A.J. What? It should be A.J.
Yeah, I guess. If you want to be proper.
Yeah, but I think in the back half, he might lose a little bit. With Dotson getting used to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping he's still.
I don't think you do see him losing up. You see him finishing better than he.
No, I know,
has.
but I'm saying. Okay, I don't want to say I see him. I think there's a chance. That's what I should have said.
Okay.
There's a chance he loses some production in the back half of the season once Dotson starts getting more used to the.
Right. But you still see him finishing top 4.
Yeah, but that's if he doesn't lose that production. That's where he should finish.
Mm-hmm.
But then, also when we made this list, Dotson wasn't on the team.
Okay.
So, Dotson just got traded today.
Right.
So, I still think he'll finish around the 4 or 5 range.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's really great. And he's going below CeeDee Lamb and Jefferson in drafts, but I think he'll finish higher too.
Yeah.
Now my top 4, this was tough. I'm not gonna lie. It was tough for me. I would say CD and Justin, were a little tough to rank, but it was a lot easier than ranking these top 4. All right. I have personal connections, I feel like, with these top guys. All of them have led me to the promised land separately on separate occasions.
Okay.
And these guys are just, they're so good at football. So I'll start off here. My number 4 guy is Jamar Chase. Okay. Now I'll tell you, I have him. I had him at 3.
Okay.
I brought him down. Okay. Now, I brought him down, not anything he did, just because the guy that I put above him, I think, will just have a better season this year.
Mm.
Jamar Chase, his talent is off the charts.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like to rank him higher than Jefferson in, actual football, and I don't think, there's definitely an argument.
I mean, hey, he took the league by storm when he came in.
There's definitely an argument to be made about that, as as the best receiver in football when he's fully healthy.
You think he's the best when he's healthy?
I like to have that argument every now and then.
I mean, he's definitely in that argument.
Talent-wise.
I probably wouldn't put him there at the end of that argument, but you can make. I'm not mad that you think he's the best.
You can make the yeah.
You can make it.
So I think that him and Joe Burrow together is magic.
It is.
It's one of the greatest stacks in fantasy football currently. When they're both healthy, it's great. They win football games. Both of their production go up.
Mm-hmm.
But we have not had a full season of the both of them. And I don't even think we had a full season of the both of them when they both went to the Super Bowl. Jamar Chase's rookie year a couple years ago.
We did actually. Oh, wait.
Was that the first full season of them?
Well, we did on Chase's end. Let me check on Burrow's end.
Either way, they both managed to not, have an injury here or there, and not, if Joe Burrow's out of the lineup, Jamar Chase got to deal with a backup. Then Joe Burrow comes back, Jamar Chase is now on IR for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't want to necessarily blame injuries, but it's the consistency.
Yeah.
Obviously, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Two of the best at their positions.
At the positions. They've made a Super Bowl. Joe Burrow almost won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people rank both of them very highly, and I don't blame them. It's the consistency for me in fantasy-wise that I just have him lower because I got to see that domination from the both of them all year long. Okay, both of them in the lineup. And I think that Tyler Boyd now being removed from this offense is going to hurt a little bit. I think Joe Mixon being removed from this offense is going to hurt a little bit. I think the offense maybe takes a step down from what they usually are at. All right. And then with the whole Higgins situation, he wanted to get paid. They franchise tag him. I don't know. I think there's a lot to cut through there for me to see a full, like, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase be like the number one, at the fantasy position. Granted, it can happen.
It can.
Jamar Chase, very big touchdown guy. So I think time will tell.
Okay.
I think they're set to have a great season, and they're going to be competing for the division with the Ravens and the Browns. So, we'll see what happens. I like him at 4. I think it's high enough. He's going in the first round around that same area of Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
I mean, CeeDee Lamb, my bad. That's what I got for him.
All right. And real quick, before we get to my top 3, I just want to point out to our producer, there's supposed to be a comma right here. In between the A and the M. There's supposed to be a comma above it.
Is it like a comma or what is it called? Is it like an apostrophe or something?
I got it right here.
Apostrophe.
It's like I count as a comma. I don't know. No, I haven't taken
the
English
upper
class.
comma.
Yeah. I haven't taken an English class in a few years.
All right, we want to get on to your third pick?
Yeah, so my third guy, I'm gonna keep it short, sweet, and simple, mainly because we just talked about him. But I got Jamar Chase.
All right.
The only reason I completely understand why you have him at 4,
Mm-hmm.
why you moved him back from 3. But I just think him and Burrow, we're finally going to see the full healthy season from both of them.
Yep.
And I think that's just going to keep him at 3. I don't think either of them are going to miss a game. I think they'll be fine. And, I mean, you really hit all the points on Jamar and Burrow together. So I just think they both stay healthy. Chase ends in the top 3.
Well, listen, I mean, I think that these 4 guys are very close.
Yeah.
You can make an argument for all 4.
Oh, no, I know. Dude, we'll talk about this off camera.
Yeah.
We probably have the same guys in the top, like 4 or 5, just different order.
So I wouldn't blame you if you had them 3, 2, 1. They're very tight.
I'm not mad at your list so far.
There's very just like tiny arguments for all 4
Yeah.
of why they're higher than the next. All right.
Who's your 3, John?
My 3, we already talked about him. AJ Brown. So me and you just flip-flop.
Yeah, we flipped them.
Now, if I could be completely honest with you.
Okay. Talk to me.
AJ Brown is one of my favorite receivers in football. Okay. He really is.
Okay.
I loved him when he was at Ole Miss. I loved him when he was on the Titans. And then when he came to Philly, like, it's just like it's like you felt something.
Yeah.
Like, you knew when he signed that
He
big
really
deal.
took a jump there.
Came with Hurts. Like, he was going to have an insane year. And I think this year, for some reason, I just think he's going to finish as, like, possibly the number 1 receiver in football. I think he just has, like, that kind of year.
Okay.
Where he just takes over and dominates, stays healthy. I think the entire Eagles offense, from the way that they finished last year, losing all those games and then losing to the Bucs playoffs, I think they come back with a vengeance. They come back, they dominate the NFC, and AJ Brown just has like that kind of season. Seriously, I believe that. So? I truly believe that. Huh? I think his touchdowns go up, yards, catches go up. Even though Devonta Smith is there, he's gonna get his share. Now Dotson's there, he's gonna get his share. Saquon's there, he's gonna get his share.
You don't think any of those take away from him?
No, I think it only enhances it.
Really?
Really, I think it only enhances it.
Okay.
And Jalen Hurts, same thing. I have him 2, but could have had him 1. I think he's gonna have an MVP type year. Same with AJ Brown. There's really nothing else to say. I just think he comes out and completely dominates. And I was gonna have him higher. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna have him higher. I was debating putting him at least at 2. But just because I haven't seen him,
we have the same one. Too.
I just because I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him as a top 3 fantasy receiver yet.
Yeah.
You know.
He's been close, right?
Last year was his highest.
Yeah.
At 5. you know. But I do think he still he takes that step, even though he's had dominating seasons before, you know. I could have, listen, 2 and 3, again, just like my running backs with 2 and 3 with Kyron and Brees, my 2 and 3 could have easily been switched back and forth.
Okay.
My 2s might be a little controversial,
Yeah, I mean,
but
I'm not, I think it's definitely a possibility. He's in that top 3.
Right.
But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
You said our 2 was the same?
No, I think our 1 is the same.
Right. Yeah, our 2s are very different.
No, I know. My 2 you've already talked about. So again,
My 2 I talked about?
No, my 2.
Oh.
You've already talked about. So I'm gonna take it. Make it nice and short. Cause I already kind of said my opinion on it. I got Justin Jefferson. I get it. Offense falling apart around him.
Yeah.
He has no quarterback. I still think, like I said before, he's Justin Jefferson. I think as long as Sam, because he's getting open, he's gonna beat whoever you put on him. I don't care what DB you put on him, he's gonna beat him.
You just still.
And I think if just all Donald has to do is put it within like a 2 to 3 yard radius of Justin Jefferson, he's catching that ball. He's making some spectacular play.
Yeah.
And
no one's debating that.
No, I know, but I think he does that.
It's just the consistency of a full season.
Well, this is assuming the other offensive weapons in Hawkinson and Addison come back. They take a little bit of that load off of Jefferson, and he gets to rest a little bit. That way, when he is targeted in those games, they're big targets, they're big plays.
And you truly believe he finishes higher than CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, A.J. Brown,
Yes.
Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Yes, I have that much.
That's a
confidence
tall
in Justin
order,
Jefferson.
man. And
I am a huge Justin Jefferson fan.
And I hate it because seriously, if Kirk Cousins was still a quarterback, granted of whatever else was going on, if Kirk was the quarterback, I would put him 1 or 2. I would have him as high as you do.
I mean, hey.
But I can't.
I mean, Sam hasn't really played too much in the league. He started with the Jets his rookie season.
Well, Darnold's been, he's turning into a journeyman.
I know. He just hasn't really started anywhere.
Yeah.
I think Darnold will have a little bit better season of what we've seen in the past. Now that he has Jefferson, so he has that, top receiver to throw to.
Yeah.
So, I think Justin Jefferson is going to be just fine this year.
He might be just fine. But just fine is not good enough for number 2.
His just fine is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's just not.
It is.
All right, agree to disagree. I think 2 is just really high.
Okay.
That's very high.
Okay.
But it is Justin Jefferson.
That's what I'm saying.
You know,
It's Justin Jefferson, man.
Weirder things have happened. Weirder things have happened. Okay, my 2 is, I'm not going to lie, it's in the same realm as a Kyron Williams, but this guy at least was on your list, which was nice.
Okay.
Might be a little too, it's definitely way too high for some, but he is going in that range. He's going as the 3rd, 4th receiver off the board. So then again, it really isn't that outlandish, My number 2 is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Okay. Now I have him at 2 because what I saw last year was everything I wanted to see in Amon-Ra St. Brown. All right, finished as a wide receiver 3, which is a pretty high ceiling for somebody. You don't usually come back and you'll finish that's the 2 or the 1. Some guys have done it before. Adams, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, they've all done it. Amon-Ra has started down and has only gotten better every year, and as the offense gets better, he gets even more better. His catches, his yards, touchdown regression. Might have touchdown regression, but I do believe his catches and yards will go up in this offense. Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, they just continue to build a rapport, chemistry, right? Sam Laporta being there, I think only enhances, obviously, his, Laporta's ability and Amon-Ra's ability. Laporta, number 1 tight end last year. I think he is there to help take away from the defense so Amon-Ra can get his share. Jameson Williams is also there to take off the deep ball, I think that the Lions' offense as a whole is going to take an even bigger step than they had this year. And they were a couple plays away from the Super Bowl last year. I think Amon-Ra could legitimately do better than what he did last year. And he was a first-team All-Pro player last year. Yeah. Him, A.J. Brown, had him for the 2-3. Could have made an argument for 1, realistically. if I wanted to.
You think?
Definitely.
You think Amenar could finish 1?
Well, if what
I
I'm
would
sa-
like-
what I'm telling you, if he finished 3,
No, I know.
so he could finish 2 or 1 last year.
I don't know if
next
I'd
year.
put him. If I put him in 1, I understand your argument for 2.
You might not, but I'm crazy enough to.
Okay. I mean, hey,
I'm
I was
fucking
I was
Looney
crazy
Tunes,
enough to put
man.
Aaron Rodgers in my top 10 for.
Yeah,
QB.
you're fucking Looney Tunes, man. But you see where I'm coming from.
No, I completely understand where you're coming from.
Like you had him at what, like 7 though?
I had him at 7, but
That just
switched
seemed a
him to
little
6.
low to me. Right. Okay.
Yeah. But I completely understand where you're coming from based on the season he had last year.
Mhm.
I
He just
think he's going to digress a little.
he just continues to get better. And like, see, you would say digress. I would say the same thing for most players, but for some reason,
you could only continue to get better for so like you can't. Eventually, you're gonna have to come down.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I don't think he's there yet. He's
Yeah.
young. He's getting better every year. That Lions
Well, like-
offense is getting better every year.
But like,
Same with the
You think
Eagles.
he's gonna have back-to-back 1,500-yard
Yes.
seasons?
That's why I have him that high.
1,500 yards is a lot.
I think he has more.
He gets more
Yes.
in like the 16-17 range.
Yeah. Why not? It's possible.
Okay.
Like I said, the offense is getting better. Jared Goff just gets better.
Yeah, but
His
like,
chemistry with
that's
him gets
like-
better. He's one of the reasons why this Lions offense works.
Yeah, but that.
I have him this high. I gotta believe what I'm saying, and I believe it. I think him and AJ Brown just, I don't know, they take another step.
Okay.
These are 2 of the most consistent players we have in the game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they both managed to stay pretty healthy, which is nice. Knock on wood.
Yeah, on wood, but-
But then again, like you say, digress. Now we'll get into our number 1 player here, which I think is a lot
I'm
of
assuming we have the same.
number 1 player.
Yeah.
And should have
finished
finished
2
number 1 last year,
yeah.
but was 2. Started off with one of the greatest starts to a receiving season ever.
Yeah. That's obviously
Tyreek Hill. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, what he started off his first game last year, 44.5 points.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He had like 1,000 yards by like week 8 or 7 or whatever it was.
Yeah. It was up there. Yeah, I think it was like week 8.
Like he was on pace for 2,300 yards
I know.
by the end of the year. If he
See,
played
he's-
all
He's
all
doing
17.
all of that with and probably the best number 2 in the league in Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
And he's still putting up. He basically put up 1,800 yards last year. He put up 1799.
Jalen Waddle just as fast, just as
Yeah.
good at football, can catch anything,
So
and
the fact that he has him on the same offense and you're
is
still putting up numbers
almost
like that.
2,000 yards.
Imagine what he
and
would have
touch-
done
Yeah.
if like he didn't have Waddle, or he didn't have Mostert, or he didn't have a A-Chain.
Well, that's what I mean. Like I feel like all these guys being here is opening it up for him.
You think?
You know?
I mean, I get it defensive wise because you gotta guard
Yeah.
like everybody.
And you got to cover all these track stars
No,
that
I
they
know,
got
but,
down in
like-
Miami. They're all running at 4.3.
No, I know, but I'm saying like
Mostert feels like he's 58 and he's running past
he's
the
been
whole
in the league
defense.
for a long time. He's been on mad teams.
Granted, I'll say that the touchdown regression, 13 touchdowns
Yeah,
is
I don't
hard
think
to
he's getting
do.
13.
Just with the way he plays, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but it is Tyreek Hill. When you think of Tyreek Hill, like he's such an anomaly
You just
with the
think
speed. He's
That's
just
all you think.
open all the time.
He can beat anybody. Like you line up literally anybody
And now
in the NFL with him, he's beaten.
dusted,
Yeah, like go on.
dusted.
You can't play man with this guy because like he's gonna take that to
No.
the house every time.
Man to man, that's a joke.
Yeah, I know.
That's like, come on. Like, do you want to lose? Seriously.
Exactly.
That's
You
why
can
he had
play zone.
multiple games of two
You can play man
plus
coverage across
touchdowns.
the board except for on him. You put that guy on in zone.
Man to man, it's a joke. Zone defense still. He's still cooking the defense. You know what I mean?
You gotta play like quarters.
Like, he was on such a fast pace last year. He put up the same amount of catches that he had the previous year in Miami. This is now his 3rd year with Tua, who Tua just signed his big contract now. They finally paid their quarterback. Tyreek's getting paid. Everyone's coming down to Miami. We're having a party. We're going crazy. You know what I mean? And Tyreek set out last year to go for 2,000 yards. And we thought it was going to happen.
Yeah,
You know?
he 200.
He did miss a game.
Yeah.
Which sucked, but it is what it is. He's finished as the wide receiver 2 back-to-back years behind CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson, just because they're theatrics. They've just been healthy every game in those seasons, and they just done enough to slightly pass him.
Listen to how crazy this is. The last time he finished as wide receiver 1 was in 2018. He had 137 receptions, 1,400 yards, and 12 touchdowns. He's finishing second last year with 171 receptions.
Yeah.
Oh, no, 119 receptions, 1,800 yards, and 13 touchdowns.
Well, that's like how
That's
much of
just-
an anomaly that CD Lamb had
No, I know. I'm
last
saying
year.
that's just saying what like the receivers in the league are doing now.
What were we saying?
I don't know.
Um,
The anomaly with him finishing behind.
like he finished like 30, 40 points behind CD Lamb,
Yeah, no. And he put
which
up.
is kind of
He
crazy.
put up one of the best receiving seasons ever.
Yeah. I
Like,
guess kudos to CD Lamb. I mean, he really did have a crazy year. You know, he had 135 catches. He led the league in catches. 403 points. Good Lord. 1,700 yards, 12 touchdowns. Yeah, I just think CD Lamb takes a regression. But
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill, you can't cover the man.
No, you can't.
So on any
There's
given
like no solution.
on any given week, and especially with Tua, who is a very comparable quarterback, it's hard to keep him out of the top 3.
Mhm.
Seriously.
I
With
mean,
him scoring the way that he does.
It's hard to keep him out of the top 2.
I know. He's
I
been
feel like you're crazy if you have
he's
him
finished-
anywhere besides 1 or 2.
3 of the last 4 seasons.
Yeah, I know.
You know, his line is set pretty much at like 3.5. You know, you taking the over, the under. I'm gonna take the over.
I'm with you.
I think he finishes either 1, 2, or 3 next year.
I
don't think anybody would really blame you.
I think it's him. I
Some
think it's
schmucks
his
are gonna
spot.
take him over McCaffrey for the number 1 overall.
Oh,
pick.
I know.
I know people
But
will do
honestly,
it.
if you're gonna take anyone besides McCaffrey, has to be Hill.
Yeah, it would be him.
Yeah, like you're not drafting anyone else over McCaffrey besides
No,
Hill.
this is
And
the only
It's
receiver
still
that.
kind of crazy though that you would draft anyone besides Christian McCaffrey at the number 1 pick.
But for some reason, if you wanted to start with receiver, this would be
Yeah.
the only exception.
Yeah.
Right. I think we're in agreement there.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, and I think that's it. Is there anything else you want to add to them? Any of the guys that we missed? Any guys we talked about?
I
Anybody else you want to shout
don't
out?
really want to talk about any of the receivers. I'm just excited for the NFL season to finally
No,
start.
yeah, me too.
I texted my girlfriend today. I said, "Hey, just so you know, Sundays we're watching football. I don't care if we're at my house, your house. We're visiting our friends at school. Like,
You gotta
Sunday
get her into
football.
fantasy.
What?
You gotta get her into fantasy.
no shot.
I'm trying to get mine into it. She still doesn't.
She doesn't even.
She
wanna,
barely
she
knows
doesn't
what
wanna watch
football is.
dude.
She barely even knows what football is.
She asked me. She goes, "We're just watching the Giants game, right? Or are we watching all of them?" Because obviously, you know, I'm a Giants fan. So I don't know. We're watching everything.
We're watching every game.
I mean,
deal with it.
If it's like the Panthers versus like
All right,
the
relax.
Saints, I'm not watching that game.
Well, I'm gonna watch it.
Well, yeah, you are, but I'm
gonna
not.
watch it.
Like, I don't care about that game. I don't even want to talk about
Dude,
that
it
game.
could be straight up Giants Broncos, literally like fucking Tommy DeVito and Jared Stidham. The game could end 3-0.
Uh-huh.
I'd be just as excited.
Dude, outside of like the 1 or 2 Giants games I'm going to this season, the actual amount of times I'll sit down and watch a Giants game is probably gonna be very low this season. I'll watch like the first 3, and if I have no hope, unless I'm going to the game, I probably won't sit down and watch it from start to finish. I'll
Brother,
catch plays.
I am right there with you.
Yeah, like I'll catch
We're in
like
the
a
same
few
boat.
minutes here and there.
Mhm.
But, like I'm not sitting down first quarter and waiting till the fourth quarter. Not doing
We'll
that.
just see who finishes with a lower pick next year or a higher pick.
Dude, Giants.
however you look
we're
at it.
lucky if we finish above 3 wins.
Brother, I'm with you. We won 2 games last year. I don't know. The critics are kind of all over the place.
Mhm.
Really, if I'm being honest, like
I just don't think Bryce Young's gonna answer.
they're just calling like the Panthers like a weird team this year because they're like you got better, but you got worse. But you were really bad last year. We really don't know where to put you, but you're in a bad division, so you could win it, but you also could finish last again.
Yeah.
So we really don't know what to do. You know,
You see
because
with the
I've
Giants,
seen
everyone's just like, "Yo, you're trash."
I've
but
seen-
you have Dexter Lawrence.
I've seen as low as like 1 win. We didn't get worse to the point where we're gonna have 1 win.
Yeah, but
like-
you were talking about the other day about you guys. You think you guys have a chance to win the division?
Because we can win it at like 7 and 9, but are we really gonna get the 7 wins? Probably
Probably
not.
not.
I have us winning about 4.
Okay.
Which is 2 more than last year.
Yeah, that's an improvement.
That's definitely an improvement.
That's an improvement.
Listen, I'm down here. I've been at the basement now for a couple years now. All right, so I can only start from the bottom. I'm not gonna shoot up to 7.
You see, I had some
Or
hope
9.
with the Giants because we were low for so long.
No, there's no
and then
hope.
we made the playoffs and we beat the Vikings in the playoffs, and I was excited. And then the next season came around, and we were the Giants.
But at least our offense did get better. I mean, we added 2 young receivers.
Yeah, y'all did.
As long as Bryce takes a step, and the O-line's great.
That's the issue. I don't think he's going to take a step.
If he takes a step, I think
I
that
don't think Bryce is your guy.
that offense gets better. Well, we know Daniel Jones ain't the Giants guy, but
We've
we
known
don't.
that.
At least we're
Well,
not
you
paying
see-
our guy $40 million.
You see, everyone knows that except for our GM. But for some reason, he's the one making the decisions.
Yeah.
I feel like if you gave the fans control, like just one fan control of the Giants for a day, we'd
Fire
win more
everybody.
games than the GM. Than we will this year with the GM
I don't know about that,
at
but
the helm. Bro, no.
dude,
our
you can
GM's
go in and
dumb.
play quarterback though.
Dude, you kidding me? Read option every play. The
The
DN
fake
the DN
Singletary.
dude, the DN dives in. I'm like, nope,
I'm gone.
bye bye.
But at least the Panthers though can win their division.
Hmm?
The Panthers could win like their division. Like
Yeah,
the
just
Giants
wait.
have no
Just wait.
chance.
Just wait till the Giants win.
You guys got like a 1%. All the bad teams obviously get the 1% because there's like the fluke where the Cowboys and Eagles could just fall apart,
Yeah.
you know, health wise or whatever.
I mean, and there has been those teams, you know, like the Peyton Manning Colts went from 3-13 to 13-3 in one season.
Yeah.
Like it's happened.
But like the Panthers, I would say to win the South definitely are increased. You know, we're at least in like the 15 to 20 range, I'd say, even though we're. And I wouldn't even put us last. I mean, have you seen the Saints? They are a mess. They are worse.
Dude, Spencer
Offensively.
Rattler, he's future.
If Derek Carr is the starting quarterback, the Panthers are better. Okay, just know that.
Remember when Derek Carr was like a good quarterback?
No, I can't. It is so putrid to watch.
Oh,
I mean,
he was good.
Dennis Allen
In
needs
the
to go
on the
back
Raiders,
to
bro?
defensive coordinator. They need to get another coach in there. They need to put Rattler in and see what they got in him. We got to see Chris Olave take off and be a top guy. We didn't even talk about him this
didn't.
podcast, and people have him high. I don't. As long as Derek Carr is that quarterback, I don't.
Yeah,
Kamara's getting older, but yet he's still
He still hasn't rushed
There.
for 1,000 yards though.
well. He's a very big
He's a
receiving
receiving
back.
back,
The
yeah.
volume he gets through the air is crazy, and he also needs to put up a full season and not get suspended and go to jail or whatnot. Yeah, and I also hate the Saints. Anyway, but yeah, that's all I got. That's it. All right, that was a receiver video. If you haven't already, go check out the quarterback and the running back ranking video that are already up on the YouTubes. Thank you for watching this video. The tight end video will be up next week along with either a mock draft or a video just talking about either stacks, definitely. And what was the other thing that we were going to do?
Strategy.
Yeah, we're going to talk fantasy draft, stack, strategies, and all that next week. All right. That's it. Anything else you want to add?
Got everything.
I'm looking forward to the season. I'm looking forward to, to keep uploading. I'm enjoying this. These are coming out rapidly, and you all are enjoying it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Schedule for one.
It's great. I'm glad you guys are all watching and enjoying the takes that we have and the, the help we bring to you and the draft and the upcoming season. Only more to come. That's all I got. That's it.
Deuces.
Peace.